Hello, and welcome to Hello Word, the podcast where we dive into the meanings, uses, and quirks of English vocabulary. I'm Alex, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. Our word of the day is absurd. This is a C1 level adjective, which means it's advanced English, so if you're learning this word, you're making some serious progress. Absurd means something that is ridiculous or completely unreasonable. Imagine a situation or a statement that just doesn't make sense and might even make you laugh because it's so illogical that's absurd. Let's look at some synonyms. Words like ridiculous, ludicrous, preposterous, and nonsensical are close in meaning. For example, if someone told you they plan to build a house entirely out of spaghetti, you might say, "That idea is completely ridiculous." Or if a friend insists they can win a marathon by hopping on one foot, you could respond, "That sounds preposterous." Each of these words captures that sense of something being so unlikely or strange that it's hard to believe. Now, let's consider some antonyms. Words like reasonable, sensible, logical, and rational are all opposites of absurd. For instance, if your friend suggests studying a little bit every day to prepare for an exam, you might say, "That sounds like a sensible plan." Or, if you're discussing a well-thought-out idea, you might call it logical because it's based on good reasoning. In everyday life, absurd can be a fun word to use. Let's say you're looking at a fashion show where someone is wearing a suit made of bubble wrap. You could turn to your friend and say, "This is absurd, but I can't stop watching." Or imagine someone at a meeting suggests working 24 hours straight without a break. You might respond, "That's an absurd suggestion." We all need some rest. Let's look at a few more examples of how you might use absurd in a sentence. The idea of swimming in freezing water without any protective gear is just absurd. The comedian's jokes were so absurd that the whole audience couldn't stop laughing. It's absurd to think we could solve all our problems overnight, but we can make progress step by step. To wrap up, we've learned that absurd means something ridiculous or unreasonable. It's similar to words like ridiculous and ludicrous, and it's the opposite of words like sensible and logical. Thanks so much for tuning in to Hello Word today. I hope you enjoyed learning about this wonderfully expressive word. If you like the show, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. Your support really helps others find our podcast and join in on the fun. And here's a little challenge. Try using absurd in a sentence of your own and share it in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next episode.